Hello there, people of the internet. It's windy as hell out here because we have some weather coming in, but today is the only day where I can record videos, so I'm out here recording anyway. Today I'm out here to discuss, well, in all honesty, I was just going to come out here and test these myself, and I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and make a full-on video about this. I'm going to go ahead and take this, cheapo random sling off of this thing I was using to transport out here, which is absolutely not period correct at all. Toss that over there. I have me a Type 99 7.7 JAP Arasaka here and a camera that's starting to fall over from the wind. We're going to set you guys right there and hope that the tree I'm beside helps block the wind at least a little bit. So this right here is a 7.7 JAP Arasaka. This one I brought back from the brink of death. The person who gave me this was convinced that, it was not salvageable and that it was, he was convinced it was going to be more costly to fix than it would actually be worth. And for the most part, he would have been right, but it just so happened I had some parts and equipment on standby that I used to fix up that 7.7 JAP. And now we're going to send some rounds down range with it. I want to see how accurate it is. We're at about 100 yards, and the wind will really, the wind, although it is really blistery out here, shouldn't play too much of a factor with 7.7 JAP at 100 yards, even though it is a larger diameter bullet. And we're going to compare the 7.7 JAP Type 99 to my Type 38. Obviously, this has been sporterized. I know somebody in the comments is going to say, hey, it's not an accurate test because that's a sporterized rifle. Yeah, I know it's a sporterized rifle, so we'll have to work around that. But I still wanted to bring these out here and compare them. I just got back from vacation. I have some 6.5 JAP ammunition now, and I want to run a couple rounds of 6.5 JAP right next to a couple of rounds of 7.7 JAP. I think that because the Type 99 is such a smaller rifle, they are roughly the same weight, just me holding them like this. So the Type 38, whenever it has all of its wood on it, is obviously a much heavier rifle, firing a smaller projectile round at a lower velocity. As a result, the recoil would normally not be as bad, but since these are basically the same weight rifle, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to come out here and test this, because I'm officially curious about that. This Type 99 has seen better days. The wood is just absolutely raw. There's no finish on it whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that that's how this rifle was made. I don't think that this is a full-on last-ditch rifle because the rear sight is all the way there, but you can definitely tell that the stock is absolutely handcrafted by somebody in some sort of workshop or garage somewhere, and the welding on this rifle is exceptionally crude. Where can I find some welding marks on this? We'll do, how about the barrel band right there? How's that for some crude welding? Even I can weld better than that. During World War II, during this time period that this rifle was made, I'm sure the Japanese were like, oh God, here come the Americans. We need guns. We need them right now. So I brought this 7.7 JAP rifle back to life. And this 6.5 JAP rifle I just got for a steal of a deal a long time ago. We're missing a butt plate, butt pad, whatever it is that you want to call it. Missing the butt pad on this thing. But besides that, this thing right here is exceptionally accurate. I actually just put some rounds down range. And I wanted to go grab my 7.7 and compare them side by side. And since I was doing that anyway, I figured, hey, let's break out the camera and do it on video. So that's pretty much where I'm at with this. Both of these Arasakas still have the intact mum. I'm likely going to unsporterize my 6.5 Arasaka over there because it is an intact mum receiver, and it's actually an exceptional shape. The bore on it is beautiful. She's exceptionally accurate. I think she deserves to be unsporterized. Our 7.7 JAP here has obviously seen better days. I'm still working on getting all the rust off of it. Not exactly top priority because she does fire, and she is also quite accurate. I want to see where exactly this 7.7 JAP is hitting though, so that's one of the main reasons why I decided to come out here. Actually, that's the reason I came out here with this, and then I was like, I want to compare them side by side, and I was like, let's throw up a camera, and if we're gonna use the ammunition, we may as well use the ammunition on camera. So the 6.5, 7.7 JAP ammunition that we're using, both by Hornady, 6.5 is 140 grain, 7.7 is 150 grain, or yeah, 150 grain, both soft points, both exceptionally expensive. Right side to both brass so I can reload them. I have way more 7.7 JAP than I do 6.5, but they're still exceptionally expensive ammunition. So the 6.5 JAP should be traveling at around 2,200 feet per second. Like I said, it's a lighter weight bullet traveling slower, gonna have a lot less recoil behind this one. However, the rifles are roughly the same weight, but that being said, I already know for a fact that the 6.5 is gonna have a lot less recoil than our 7.7. 7.7 should be traveling at around 2660 feet per second. That's just an average. So I'm just gonna send probably like 2 rounds through each rifle downrange, and compare them side by side. I'm gonna start off with the 7.7 JAP because that is the actual reason why I am out here. I wanna see where exactly the 7.7 JAP is going to be hitting, because I wanna take the 7.7 JAP hunting with me, the Type 38 there. And that's one of the main reasons why I haven't cleaned it up and dolled it up and got it really good looking yet, because I'm gonna be out in the swamps and bayous of Florida, trudging my way along. This is 6.5, isn't it? Yeah. Little history behind the 6.5 and 7.7. 6.5 was being used by the Japanese for a very long time, but they wanted something a little bit more powerful, so they ended up adopting 7.7 during the 1930s, but World War II was right around the corner and they couldn't really get 7.7 in the hands of absolutely everybody to replace the 6.5 like they originally wanted to. So the 6.5 stuck around, especially during the middle and end parts of the war where Japan just kind of needed absolutely everything that they could get their hands on. So they had a mix of rifle calibers between 6.5 and 7.7. It just was not a good time period to try and adopt a brand new cartridge. All right, I'm going to set you guys right here-ish. Yeah, there we go. This right here might not be the most exciting video, but I figure I'd still go ahead and record it and throw it up. I have 2 rounds of 7.7 JAP. I'm gonna send 1 down range, and I want to see where it is that it actually hits. The 7.7 JAP, according to our rear sight here, zeroes out at 300, I'm assuming, meters. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna aim at the bottom of the target. I'm sure we're gonna shoot a few inches high because we're only at about 80 yards, not the 300 meters that this thing is actually zeroed at. Our magazine is also a little on the wonky side. Honestly, I don't, oh God, no, my camera. You guys stay right there, don't you go nowhere. Even remember if this Japanese Arisaka actually has an Arisaka follower in it. I think I have a follower from a Mauser in it actually, follower and spring. I can't quite remember where the follower is from, but I know it works well enough sometimes. All right, well enough to at least send a round downrange. Glad I'm not fighting with this thing. I'll just be gathering food with it. All right, I think I hit it. I'm gonna wander down there and actually see where I hit it. It looks like I hit center mass, but I'm not positive about that. Okay, it turns out I missed our target entirely. And with a 300 meter zero at 80 yards, I know we're gonna be hitting high. So I'm actually gonna try aiming a little bit lower. I was aiming at the bottom of the target. I'm gonna aim under the target. We're gonna see if we actually hit our target there. All right, let me go ahead and try this again, shall we? Aha! We hit it that time. I heard a clank. Now I'm gonna wander down there and find out. I was aiming under the target. I'm gonna find out where the hell I actually hit on this thing. All right, so aiming under the target, I managed to hit about center, maybe a little bit higher than center. But now I know relatively where the point of aim is with this rifle. I'm gonna go ahead and fire another round, just confirm that point of aim. Hope my camera here doesn't fall. And I mean, we made our hit on target. So I'm gonna set another round and we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, I think we hit it again. I'm gonna go down there and find out though. All right, so we smacked it in relatively the same spot, pretty damn close. I'll be honest, I'm having fun. So I wanna go ahead, send another round of 7.7 JAP down at our target. I call this confirmation of where it is that it's actually hitting. Now, this rifle with the wood the Japanese used, it's incredibly lightweight. And with that 150 grain soft point going down range at 2,600 feet per second, almost 27, man, this thing's got some recoil behind it, I tell you what. I think I might have pulled that one. Well, I pulled that one, so we have no choice but to send another and make up for it. I don't like the aperture sight that's on this thing just because of its location. And since I'm just where the sights are, they're blurry with my point of vision. They're just not in that sweet spot that allows me to really see. Aperture sights on the back of the receiver, right next to my eye, I can really see through those. But this Japanese Arisaka aperture sight, I just can't see through it all that well. That's not a fault of the rifle, that is just a fault of my eyes. I think I just stepped in an ant pile. Well, that's just gonna have to wait. Aha! I got it that time. I could see where I got it. All right, I think that one was a little bit lower than the others. But either way, I nailed that bastard. I really like this rifle. I'm having a really good time with it. Apparently you can use rounds from 7.62 by 54 rim, like the same bullet diameter ammunition to reload these things. They're a little bit smaller than the diameter of those, but the results should be negligible. Let's go ahead and run some 6.5. Now that I've ran a couple of rounds of 7.7, I'm gonna run a 6.5 round. And I want to see what the real significant difference is behind them. Yeah, these rifles like weigh roughly the same, despite the fact that the barrel on this one is substantially longer. Just goes to show how lightweight the wood on the Arisakas are. The wood is incredibly lightweight. Doesn't seem to make too terribly much of a difference. All right, sending around. Oh my God. The 6.5 is the way to go. Oh, that was incredible. Yeah, I could see right where I hit it. They hit roughly the same height, seems to be about 6 inches high, but seeing as they're zeroed out, I think this one's zeroed for 200, whereas the Carcano seems to be zeroed for 4. Did I just call that a Carcano? The Type 99 seems to be zeroed for 4. Let me double check that. I can't quite remember if it's zeroed for 2 or 4. Actually, I think the 99 is zeroed for 2. Ah, zeroed for 3. Okay, so this is zeroed for 3, that's zeroed for 2. In theory, the Type 38 should hit a little bit lower than the Type 99. Then we'll have to wander down there and find out. Of course, with me as a shooter, I'm willing to bet that the results seen are going to be absolutely negligible, and I doubt I'd be able to tell whether or not one is hitting, you know, 1.5 inches lower than the other. I'm just not a great shot, but I'm good enough to be able to hit our target at the 80 yards that we're at. And I tell you what, guys, the 6.5 is phenomenal. Oh, I just hit it and it goes spoof. It doesn't even feel like I'm shooting a real rifle, let alone a full power cartridge. I would call this more of an intermediate cartridge, the 6.5 JAP, and the 6.5 Carcano. I'd put that into that category too, as opposed to like a full power rifle cartridge. 7.7 JAP, absolutely full power rifle cartridge. 6.5, I'd call that intermediate. Just because I have a bunch of 7.7 JAP ammo, well, not a bunch, but I have more 7.7 JAP than I have 6.5. I'm gonna run another 7.7 JAP round downrange. You can definitely, there's a very clear and distinct difference between the power of the two cartridges. And with this very clear, distinct difference, I mean, my goodness, 7.7 JAP, the recoil is far more intense than the 6.5 JAP. Despite the fact that the rifles here weigh roughly the same, even though one's been sporterized. Oh yeah, we smacked it. Every time I hit the steel, there's just a little puff of smoke around it. The 7.7, that puff of smoke is way bigger than the 6.5. And I get people that tell me to show off the steel whenever I shoot it like this. So we're gonna wander down there, have a look at the steel. I think I've burned enough of my extremely expensive ammunition that's hard to find here. All right, here's our steel. We got a bunch of different rounds on it. Can you tell which round is which? Because I sure as hell can't. That one I know is a 7.7 JAP because I saw it. We clearly hit the wood right there and hit the steel right there. Have no idea what that is. I got zero idea which round is which, but you guys want to see the steel, so hey, here's the steel after I got done shooting with it. I'm assuming that, I'm willing to bet that these right here are the 6.5 JAP rounds, and down here are the 7.7, because I have more of a holdover on the 7.7 than I do with the 6.5. I probably should have saved this plug off the microwave before I destroyed it. Didn't even think about it. But I have more of a holdover for the 7.7 than I do with the 6.5. I'm holding lower with the 7.7 because it zeroes out at a further distance. Maybe I'm holding it too low. I don't really care enough to try and compensate for that. We did hit our steel. I'm willing to bet those are 6.5, those are 7.7. I have no idea though, so zero clue. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to end this video. I wanted to bring these rifles out, run them side by side. Like I said, I was going to do that anyway, and I figured I'd go ahead and throw up this camera here. 7.7 JAP out of this rifle right here. These rifles are not particularly heavy. They're like a shorter barreled carbine version with a more powerful bullet. Oh God, my camera. You guys stay right there. Don't you go nowhere now. These rifles are supposed to be like more compact and lighter weight than the original rifles, the Type 38s that the Japanese military was using. And I think that they did a pretty good job with that, because this rifle is not exceptionally heavy at all. Like, I could lug this thing around very, very easily. The wood on it is extremely lightweight. I'm blown away at how lightweight this wood actually is. Like, I mean, I've had polymer stocks that are heavier than the wood on this thing. Now, despite the fact that that thing is covered in wood, and this Arisaka right here that's been sporterized, all the wood's been taken off of it, they weigh roughly the same. If this was not sporterized, and you know, the nose cap and the barrel bands and the everything that's supposed to be on this Arisaka, if all of that was on this thing, obviously the 6.5 JAP Arisaka would be heavier than the 7.7 JAP. But since this is sporterized, I mean, they weigh almost identical. Like, if you were, I can't get over how similar the weights are between these two things. I definitely like the sights on the 6.5 Type 38 more than the Type 99, just because I don't like the aperture sights on this thing. Just because of my eyesight, I can't really see it all that well. Whereas the V-notch of Type 38 Arisaka is actually much easier to see. I also like the longer barrel of the Type 38. I'm not going to be using these for any legitimate practical purposes besides maybe hunting, but I like the longer barrel on the Type 38 because it lets me give compensation jokes. So this isn't really a comparison between the two Arisakas. I mean, it is, but it isn't, just because this one right here is not its original military configuration. But I can tell you right now, with how much less recoil the 6.5 JAP has compared to the 7.7 JAP in rifles that weigh the same, if the Type 38 was in its original configuration and was heavier than it is right now, then the recoil would be less. And that 6.5 JAP, man, I can't imagine how incredibly nice that would be to fire. Let's see if we have some less wind right here. Yeah, I like this spot better. Now the 6.5 JAP is a 6.5 by 50. I think the 52 is the Carcano. So yeah, 6.5 by 50, and the 7.7 JAP is 7.7 by 58. I believe the 7.7 JAP bullet is like roughly the same diameter as the Mosin Nagant's round. It's like a 0.212 diameter bullet, and the Mosin Nagant's is 0.211. So if you are going to reload, you should be able to use the same rounds for the Mosin Nagant that you would the 7.7 JAP. I would not use 7.7 JAP bullets in a Mosin Nagant, but you should be able to use Mosin Nagant rounds, 7.62 by 54 rounds in your 7.7 JAP, just because that 1/1000th of a diameter round being smaller is not going to cause much of an issue. The 6.5 JAP round, memory serves, 0.264 diameter bullet. I believe that's correct, or perhaps it's the 0.267. One of those is 6.5 JAP, one of those is 6.5 Carcano, but I believe that this right here is the 0.264 diameter bullet. You can use the same 0.264 diameter bullet for the 6.5 JAP as you can with the 6.5 Carcano, but you're going to have more of a difference than you would, since it's how much, 3/1000th of an inch smaller. You definitely don't want to go the vice versa way to have 3/1000ths of an inch bigger. Definitely not a good idea. Okay, well, I am going to find my, aha, here she is, my strap, my sling, because I have to carry all of my equipment back to the house. So that's one of the reasons why I threw this onto my Arisaka, so I can have it over my shoulder and have more hands free. This was actually a really good time. I was expecting to come out here, run like 2 rounds through each rifle, give a comparison, and say, all right, let's head back inside. But damn it, these rifles are just so much fun. to run ammunition through. Maybe it's because I don't get the opportunity to run ammunition through these rifles, but I think it's more the fact that I really enjoy the 6.5 JAP round. I have, like, this is only the second time I've really sat there and fired 6.5 JAP. I made a video earlier where I was showing off 6.5 JAP, and I fired a couple of rounds. For the most part, today is like the first day where I've gotten the chance to actually legitimately do that, and I gotta say, it was a really good time. 6.5 JAP, I 100% understand why people absolutely love it. I'd much rather fire the 6.5 JAP over the 6.5 Carcano, especially because the sights for the 6.5 JAP are much more on target than the 6.5 Carcano. Carcano shoots like 36 inches high, and you have to aim significantly under your target at 100 yards, whereas this 6.5 JAP only seems to shoot at about 6 inches high, despite the fact that the 6.5 JAP here is zeroed out to 300 yards, either 200 or 300. I think that this one is the 200, yeah, but it's dirty and kind of hard to tell. I'm assuming that this is the 200 yards, so much easier to make hits on target at 80 yards, which is roughly what we're at, as opposed to the Carcano, which hits so much higher. Anyway, folks, I'm rambling at this point. I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry. I just drove like 100-something miles today to get back home from vacation. While I was on vacation, I found 6.5 JAP ammo, and damn it, I had to come out to the range and run some ammunition. I see weather in the distance, that's why it's so windy, so I'm gonna go inside, stop pushing my luck here, and go take cover from the rain, because it is coming. I can see it off in that distance, making its way downtown, and downtown is apparently my house. Thanks for watching, folks. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Description down below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check that out. I'm gonna go in. You guys go off. Have yourself a fantastic day. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.